what I think of America. My mother sing a song. America is a golden land.
The SSI program is really a bare essential safety net. And when you pull that out from under people, particularly people who are disabled and elderly, you're essentially threatening their lives.
Sometimes I feel very upset, very disappointed, and I not have a citizenship. I think maybe I will die soon and I will not have a citizenship.
He was such a symbol of someone who was a genuine American, who really wanted to become an American, who took every step he could to become an American citizen and was thwarted in his attempts. And he was willing to go forward in his quest and become this plaintiff in this class action suit.
There are 60,000 people in this class, and the case is Kaplan v. Chertoff. That's Shmul Kaplan.
To be American, it is for me a big honor. It is a big. I'm proud that I am American. Now, I say all people, it is my homeland. Where I born in Ukraine. I live until I graduate the 8th grade. And when we see the German approach to our shtetl, all Jew people ran from the shtetl. Some people was not able to move from the shtetl. When the German came, all Jew people killed it. They take it to a big hole, and they put them in the hole in cover with ground. It was a panic. People not know what they do. The Nazi kill people. We run, we not know. We think maybe it will not worse than to die. When we came to Kazakhstan, I go work to a metal factory. The first year was very, very difficult. Sometimes I went to the work and I was hungry, very hungry. You come to the store, you give the card, and they give you bread. No, you pay 2 rubles or 1 ruble, very little, but very little bread too. Meat, we not have meat, only bread.
I know he was in a terrible accident where he lost a leg, but that this did not stop him from being a very productive member of his society. He was a math teacher.
In Kazakhstan, it's winter. In the morning, I have to go to the factory. I don't understand how I fell. And when I fell, I lose my conscience. And when I come to myself, I see I lie in a room and around me is people work. My condition was very bad condition. Doctor not believe I will live. But you see me, I alive. It is a miracle. We not have enough medicine. We not have enough what to eat. We not have what to wear. And I live. When I was in the hospital and I lie on the bed, I thought I will get very peaceful occupation to help the people. And I decided to become occupation like a teacher. And I start to study, and I graduate the school. I have very nice grade. In 1973, I became a PhD in study mathematics. I work as a mathematics teacher more than 25 years. In one hand, I hold the crutch, in the other, I write on the blackboard. I like the student, and the student, I think, not hate me too. This time was the happiest time in my life. I get married very late. I was old, over 30. She's approximately in the same age. She very like music. She dance very nice, but I not have a leg. She like to dance. Sometimes when we come to a party, she take me, come dance with me. But she very early died. 1992, she died, very young lady. For a long time, in my ear, I hear her voice. I love her very much, and she loved me. She loved me maybe more than I. My wife died in 1992, and I retired. But when I retired, Soviet Union collapsed, and very in Soviet Union is all collapse. And I don't know what to do. And she died, and I leave Almaty, Kazakhstan, and I go to my daughter. She lives in Tver.
The process to become an asylee and refugee is pretty tough initially. You've got to show that you have a well-founded fear of persecution in your home country, and that you're unable to return for some reason, or that if you were to return, then you would be in serious danger.
In Russian, I not can practice my religion. It is in Tver is very anti-Semitic, very dangerous for Jew people in Tver was. Some people not see a Jew, a live Jew not see, not Jew, but they say a Jew is very bad person. We have to kill him, we have to destroy it. It is a big problem, and it goes from generation to generation. In Moscow, in metro, subway, we see flyers. In the flyers they write, "Kill the Jew, kill the Jew, kill the Jew."
Mr. Kaplan was subject to anti-Semitism throughout his entire life. It included incidents of, being pushed off a sidewalk. This is a gentleman who had a prosthesis and really had one leg, and he had his wheelchair turned over. He was the subject over many years of anti-Semitism in the Soviet Union. And at some point in the mid to late 1990s, I think decided he had enough. And he was about 70 years old, didn't speak one word of English, had some relation here. One of his daughters had been living in the Philadelphia area. And he came over and applied for asylum.
I came to America in November. In January 1997, I received a status of asylum. I was very happy. When I came the first time to the ShopRite, I think it is not a store, it may be a exhibition. In a store, you can buy one kind of tomatoes, the second, the third, or different kind of meat. But now I understand it is a store. If you have money, you can buy. But after I receive, I have to wait very long time.
Even once somebody is able to show that they're an asylee or refugee, then their fight isn't over, because then they have to apply for their green card later on.
He applied for his green card at a time in the law when asylees were particularly burdened.
Our country limited the number of asylees who could get green cards. So there were waiting lists of many thousands of asylees who could not even achieve lawful permanent residency.
You have to go through an FBI name check in which they'll look to see whether your name has ever been involved in any FBI police report.
The requirements were much enhanced since September 11th, and resources to process these cases because of the additional requirements were not allocated. So a big, big backlog has developed.
I wait to receive my green card approximately 5 years. When I receive the green card, I wait 4 years. And together I wait to receive American citizenship approximately 11 years.
The benefits that were at issue in the Kaplan case is the benefit called SSI, or Supplemental Security Income, a welfare benefit offered by the Social Security Administration for elderly or disabled individuals. It's roughly $600–700 a month. It's part of our social safety net that older people and disabled people can get, even though they have no work history. It's only for low-income people. There's a means test, so-called, for it. And in '96, the Republican Congress, in cutting back on welfare benefits and with a clear animosity toward immigrants in the country, decided that to get this SSI benefit, you had to be a U.S. citizen, except for refugees or asylees, a particular subgroup of people who were invited into the country because they fled persecution, and they were given SSI, but only for 7 years. So this was the benefit that before 1996 was offered to every U.S. citizen and every non-citizen who was a legal immigrant in America.
Mr. Kaplan lost his SSI in July of 2004. This was a problem because the immigration authorities had taken so long to process his green card application. He was actually only eligible to apply for naturalization in July of 2007. So there was this 3-year gap where he didn't have his SSI but wasn't eligible to apply for naturalization.
In 2004, they cut my benefit. I'm very disappointed. I don't know what to do. 5 days in week I receive a lunch. But besides the lunch, I want to eat too. I applied to the welfare. In the welfare tell me they will help me. They will give me more food stamp and they will give me cash, $215. I say to say thank you very much. And I think it is, I believe, I will continue.
Now here's a man who would have become a U.S. citizen the first day he entered the country, if he was able to, and was almost dying to become a U.S. citizen every day he was here. Yet this was a law that our Congress passed and President Clinton signed that, that imposed a highly arbitrary condition on the receipt of SSI benefits. We welcome people who flee persecution. Now, do you welcome them and then pull the rug out from under them by denying them SSI benefits? There's a real contradiction there, which our country hasn't quite faced up to, I think.
I often call to Hayas and ask, say, help me please, because every day I feel my life get worse. Then one day called to me, Jonathan, stay. And he tell me, we will help you.
This was a lawsuit that no one else in the country wanted to bring. They either thought it was a clear loser or that they had other, quote, priorities.
In December of 2006, we filed the complaint here in the Eastern District of Pennsylvania.
The plaintiffs, the people suing, were of course refugees and asylees who were disabled and elderly. Some people have already been terminated. Over 25,000 have been already cut off from SSI, and many thousands more will be over time. So the total number of people in the Kaplan class is about 50 or 60,000 people.
The defendants are the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, the FBI, the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services.
When the case was brought, we tried to do that in a very visible way. The Washington Post published an important news story about the lawsuit. It certainly woke up people in Washington. And we had to be pretty creative here at Community Legal Services in creating some legal arguments, mainly constitutional arguments, to say that this 7-year time period was an arbitrary one, and this law of '96 was unconstitutional. Bringing a lawsuit against the federal government was a rather scary and novel event for him. He knew nothing about the process and was very concerned that being in a federal lawsuit might endanger his becoming a U.S. citizen.
Many people don't want to make waves. They don't want to have the spotlight shine on them. On the other hand, isn't that part of being American? When you really feel part of society and you say, wait a minute, this is my society too, I have some rights.
We had to assure him that America was different from the Soviet Union, that people sue the government all the time here.
I do not know the rule, the law. I not know what to say to them. I think thank you.
The major event of the litigation was a decision by our U.S. District Judge Robrino, who himself was a refugee from Cuba, that we did have valid claims, at least some of our claims were valid, that could go to trial, and he encouraged both sides to negotiate and reach a settlement using a U.S. magistrate.
The settlement solves the problem for a lot of people. The settlement allows people whose SSI has been terminated or is at risk of being terminated due to the 7-year limit, that they can request that their applications for their green card or their naturalization be expedited. In other words, their applications get moved to the front of the line. It will also there's a provision that will automatically expedite people so that you don't have to raise your hand and say, hey, I'm in this class, expedite my application. You can imagine that there's about 60,000 people in the class. many of whom don't speak English fluently, many of whom are elderly. Well, by definition, they're all either elderly or severely disabled, and they may not be able to make the request to expedite on their own. They may need assistance. They may be very isolated. So the automatic expediting is key here.
He was always aware that in the lawsuit he was there not only to help himself, but also to help other people who were in the same boat, and he was clearly satisfied that he could help others as well as himself.
He became eligible to become a U.S. citizen in September of 2007, and we actually arranged for the immigration authorities to actually go to him.
I remember this day like a day of a newborn. My head was very diseased.
There was a party there where many members of the legal team were there. There were people from the apartment complex that were there. It was a little nervous at times because it was possible that he would be given the test, the citizenship test or the English test, and he wouldn't pass, and then everything while he's there.
I studied very hard. I studied to answer the question in English. Ask me question about the exam, and I will answer you in English.
He passed it, flying colors, and was sworn in right then and there with a lot of people around.
It is very hard to explain my exciting, my grateful, thankful to the people that they pay attention to me.
Well, the general public, I think, can first become more aware of these arbitrary laws that really deny necessities of life to people, and then bring those problems to the attention of their congressmen and senators. And the difficulty is that most people feel very powerless to affect national policy and don't feel that as individuals they can do very much. And I think that mindset needs to change a bit, and people need to feel empowered.
To be a citizen of America, it means I'm very, very lucky, because I not feel dangerous. I have apartment. My refrigerator is not empty. It is like I have a new life.